Really good discipline as well from Adios, just making sure that they wanted to get rid of the shields. They didn't necessarily need it. So Envy gets to come into this next fight. They get to hold on to the Mega Hurricane. So
yeah, Magneto can ult against Torch.
Even
Yeah,
the combo realistically there with Cal. So they're pretty close. But FlyQuest,
they're just not allowed to swap characters. They're locked in. They're locked in for this
busting out some
map.
Extremely aggressive plays. And these chokes are so hard to deal with on Hell's Heaven. Envy gonna need some options here.
We got a little quirky format here for my tournament.
It's time. It's
You know,
time.
we're getting a little quirky.
The Firestorm that has been long awaited, that we got denied in the first round. Surely is about to happen, although Energy taking the turn first. Decides to drop his own Firestorm.
Oh my god, he lived.
Drops it speedily in at the same time.
They're just running.
He's gonna get in here for FlyQuest. There's a fire tornado rotating around, but so far, no real results.
He got him. They got him. They got him. Oh my god.
Able to stay alive, counter pushing the Envy.
I've never seen a pulse. Someone live from the pulse.
They're fire resistant, Avast.
And I think also this is somewhat a little bit of the downside of this combo is like there's so much sustain here for FlyQuest as well, because you essentially have another strategist ult when you have the Freedom Charge available for Spark Shape, when you have that Captain America ult. You see him just running around, just touching everyone, just making sure like, yo, dap up, like the entire time running, just giving some bonus health, giving some of the movement speed too. And because it's not like a huge burst ult combo there for Envy, you can sustain that with the bonus health.
Envy right
Did I
now,
jinx Envy? I feel like I jinxed him.
Happen here in map 1. We're looking at window. Strangling Prison, good to go. A lot of clumped up people here for FlyQuest. Here comes Strangling Prison. Fall through. Are you there? Cooper-tastic. Drops the fate of both worlds. Keeps FlyQuest nice and healthy through the Strangling Prison. And now Envy still looking for anything on the pitch. But look to the side here.
Oh no.
Seduction. Get some nice value. Zealous and Smart Chief cleaning on up.
He's getting so much value with that MO.
Envy here in our first map.
That's it.
I mean, there's not going to be a contest.
Wow. I'll be honest.
There is no hope.
That Emma Frost might be MVP on FlyQuest for that map. I feel like that was. I feel like every single Emma Frost ult was so good. That was crazy. That's just first map, though. As we go deeper into the series, you get to play less characters. Fire guy. Did this next map start here? Okay, next map did not start here. Oh yeah, that's right, because they couldn't preset the first map always happens really fast, and then the second map starts slower because they have to think about bans. And picks. So 100 Thieves is playing Iron Fist, Luna, Cap. They banned Jeff and Mantis. Gen.G is playing Mag, Cap, Luna with the Emma Frost ban, and they're considering their next ban here. I don't really know what they're gonna ban, to be honest. It's kind of hard. It's a hard one to know what you're gonna ban here, because it is kind of hard to know what characters people are gonna play in this tournament based off of the format. It's actually kind of hard to predict. So like, who knows? Strange. I guess that's fine.
Well, I mean,
but why not?
That's I was going to ask you, but why, like, Dave? But it seems like you're wholly unprepared for that question. Dogman, why would they ban Strange here?
Oh no, he's working with Ida Seedless, and I don't know either. I'll be honest with you. I'm going to go back to the original.
How many times can they save characters that were banned? Just on the third map, 2 of them. Can you explain the format really quick? Yeah, you can't play the same characters twice. So you lock in a draft. That character and that whole roster that you pick is locked in for that map. You can't play them the next map. The only exceptions on the third map where you get to resurrect one of them, and they are now allowed to be played. And then each team gets 2 bans. So you do 1 ban, 3 pick, 3 pick, 1 ban, 1 ban, 3 pick, 3 pick. There's another extra caveat there where you could ban the character that you pick. Where you can get some interesting kind of mind games with the picks and bans. It's definitely a quirky little format, but it's I think it's functioning surprisingly well. Like, some of these games are pretty competitive. We've had some pretty close games. We've had a few stomps, definitely, when the roster and the comp just doesn't go your way. Have a few stomps, but you're kind of in control of that, right? You're kind of in control of your roster a little bit. It's definitely different. It's definitely a different style. I think as more characters come into the game, the format actually becomes better. But even with the characters that they have in the game currently, it does still work. I think the one caveat's flyers. Flyers are hard to deal with.
If they really wanted to, like they could pull that one out and there's nothing to really interrupt it here. And we know that there are good Namor players on 100 Thieves because we expect Terra to be on the Iron Fist over the course of this. They don't have the Hela. They do still have the Winter Soldier, but that would kind of be splitting Terra in two. And as far as I'm aware, bro has not mastered mitosis yet. He's working on it. When we get double Terras, 100 Thieves will be all over that.
Terra times 2 Terra attack.
100 Thieves. What's their second tank going to be, right? So 100 Thieves can't play. Oh, their second tank's going to be Emma for sure, right? They're going to have Emma. Oh no, Emma's banned. Oh, interesting. Gen.G banned Emma and Strange, and they played the Thing. Okay. Well, I mean, I guess you don't have a lot of options because Magneto, Groot, Strange, Emma are all gone. Okay. I do not like what they cooked up here, but like they don't have that many options, I guess. I mean, Terra's an absolute machine on Iron Fist, so maybe it'll be chill.
That's possible to change those heroes afterward is definitely interesting because we just saw Fun on the last game play Emma Frost. Or not Emma Frost, sorry. He did play Emma Frost. And now on this one, you can sub back in, which was earlier Acadia. That guy obviously listed as a duelist player was not a duelist from what we've seen. He's a Vanguard player who played Captain America. So we're probably going to see him in this upcoming map, and it's going to be interesting to see.
Ah, that's why everyone brought in their subs. I see. That's the secrets. The secrets is with this comp and this style of tournament, because you're kind of locked out of characters, you swap your players around because they might be better at other characters.
So far, winless.
I see what you're cooking. I see what you're cooking. How's Shroud 9 doing? We got last.
Final thoughts on these picks, like
Is this live?
It's gonna bring up the second.
These are highlights, bro. I thought this was live. Where are we?
Storm.
This. Okay, hold on.
Especially against Loki.
They're literally doing maps and bans.
Like that,
the two streams trip me out.
Worlds, which is your classic counter to the Omega Hurricane. And you're going to be constantly punched out of the air by the 2 tainted voltage charges from the Winter Soldier that he now has. And Iron Fist is going to be harassing you in the air all the time. I mean, the only thing here is that the Thing and Captain America can't really interact with you. So maybe this is a demand of the Iron Fist's attention.
Bolt Speed Man, thank you for the sub.
Maybe it's a Korean meta thing. Maybe they love the Storm over there. I personally don't love it.
No, I would have loved to see maybe like a Rocket Raccoon and a Punisher even, like against the Thing, against the Captain America, just shred those tanks apart. I mean, that could have been a viable option if they didn't pick Cloak and Dagger earlier.
I mean, Storm just honestly sucks.
No matter the game, there is a meta where it's just shred the shields, shred the health pools. It is completely viable. I mean, I suppose it is going to matter about like positioning and.
I'm gonna be sad if I see no Spidey in this at all. Well, Spidey can only really be played on certain maps. You don't play him on all maps. You have to play him on very specific maps.
No, I was thinking of a Punisher. They look so similar, the models. Punisher in that team up is very good on very specific maps. But why am I even talking about it? Winter Soldier's in there, so.
Put it in your brain.
I guess,
sorry, Hanks.
Yeah, it's not very difficult to do. So what I'm really actually interested in for these teams moving forward, because this is the upper bracket, by the way, so these teams are definitely going to play at least.
Why does Storm suck? I mean, she just doesn't.
What I really want to see is who's.
She just doesn't do anything.
We're learning about the draft system and kind of.
She just tickles. She tickles everybody. Like her.
We're starting to figure out.
She's not bad when you need to do a lot of damage to like maybe the front line or something with your.
I would say for duelists can play a
with your damage amp, I guess. But yeah, there's just better picks. It's not that like Storm's bad. It's just there's always better picks. But in this case, what would have been the better pick? Punisher, Rocket, maybe, like the caster said. That's not bad.
Trying to learn some things.
Krakoa.
House Heaven is complete. 100 Thieves won that. So this is a Gen.G map pick. It is.
Why is the music so loud?
Gentlemen, please take it away.
Thank you, Sir Hanks.
Why is the music so loud?
I think, Gen.G's picks are definitely a little confusing to us. I think,
can't hear them.
It seems the Storm pick is up in the air. I don't know if we've fully agreed upon it.
The music is loud.
Could be the meta or not. Like, what do you think from what we've seen from the flying woman?
Jammies.
The Storm is unfortunately kind of an accessory to Johnny right now. And with Johnny, I'm actually surprised that 100 Thieves didn't draft the Johnny Storm themselves when it wasn't banned and they hadn't used it previously because they got a pro gamer move on L7. But it's not on the table in this case. And we're going to see TTK on the thing because we're wondering what TTK is going to be picking up. The controller got themselves, bringing out the more melee focused hero. Hegsy also being the Storm player is interesting, knowing that we consider a bit of an aim.
Krakoa maps are so bad? I think Krakoa's fun.
It's gonna be really rough going for this Storm going up against Terra, who could just fly through the air and go after him all the time.
Yeah, he's going to need the hard pocket for sure. And Terra, I mean, he's been able to play his comfort picks, right? We get to see Terra on Wolverine in the previous map. Now we get to see him on Iron Fist. This is exactly where Terra is comfortable. And, obviously they were focusing on TTK. But TTK, right, has a lot of practice on the thing. You can see maybe that character benefits or doesn't even benefit from being a controller. It doesn't really matter if you're in a controller or not, considering how the turn radius works. It's sort of
I don't think they picked Krakoa. I think they, for time's sake, I think they
rotating towards that objective as they try to set up.
I think they may have changed the format potentially. I'm not sure.
Oh wow!
I didn't look at production. I'm just kind of watching.
Harvey must have just been caught unawares and potentially have those regeneration domains already burst through.
No way.
On an island.
Why was he down there? Poor guy.
That strategist of SJP was nowhere near. Maybe there was a little bit of setup, some groundwork being done by Exy, who of course doesn't suffer from damage drop-off, to soften up those targets for Cadia. Maybe we're going to start seeing that early poke really keep Cadia in the game when it comes to finding these early picks.
Yeah, going back to the original point with Snake being on Cloak and Dagger, with Exy on Storm.
The UI did say Gen.G picked it? Oh, they did? Oh, shit, okay. Oh.
Damage amplification, rather, coming through onto 100 Thieves. So we're going to see so much pressure come through. Is already towards the point we have Terra just trying to delay it. Cadia comes back to peel them.
All right, already used that Dragon's defense, and now we need to rescue, and it's going to be coming through in the form of TTK. Not in time, though. Brownie connects Rotherstern.
This is a Korean team, so they've actually picked this map twice. They played it last time.
From the Loki, Delana now in a commanding position. Both of a strategist grab with the culling debuff, but it's answered importantly by the Eternal Bond. Question coming through. SJP ready to answer. Oh no! Oh, momentary usage of the damage boost. Oh, it's so greedy from SJP, and Dotori gets them both as they're sitting within that aura. That's so sad. Oh, Jarvis, play Despacito.
Oh my god. Is that a good play from Dotori, or is that a bad play from SJP, or just both? Like, that's
an
insane.
ego play, I feel like.
It must
this
be,
is very one-sided so far.
Luna Snow does whenever she claps on your face, it just is incredible, and it's not expected apparently for 100 thieves. Even the pro teams don't expect the Luna Snow to pump out that much damage.
A surprising amount of damage, some might say. In comes the Omega Hurricane, that of course forces out the answer in the form of the God of Mischief, Fade of both.
What? Storm got a kill? No way.
Once again, we see the damage boost coming on.
That's so unlucky for 100 Thieves. They may have just lost.
In the way of results, but now
wait. Hold.
Forward, clobbering time stands up multiple members of Gen.G. The Brownie still waiting in towards the back. You know that he can reset multiple times off of these Loki clones, but the rumor have already been used. It's reset after reset. Terra has to use the Dragon's defense, but in the back, yet another clone falls, so it's yet another reset. Culling debuff reapplied onto the thing, but
Terra hasn't even ulted yet.
In their own right, taken down in the midst of all of this. Overtime in favor of Gen.G. A deep play here from Delana, culling for everybody, all and sundry, afflicted with the reddest of health bars, but the headshots inside the Eternal Bond.
Wow, that was a good hook.
Threshold. A quick move
holy
into
shit.
The dark zone, the dark dimension claims the Cloak and Dagger. Dotori's already been taken down. A well-placed Kunlun kick from Terrible makes that one happen, and Gen.G are finally removed from this point.
Yeah, I mean,
Wow.
this is insane work from Gen.G so far. The amount of damage they're doing is absurd, right? We saw in the previous fight Terra go down early. That was due to him getting hit by that Terra cape from Snake right next to his Luna Snow ultimate. So it's been really hard for him to kind of figure out these numbers, right? Because right now Gen.G are playing it so slow, damage boosting the team, throwing out the Terra cape for that amplification, and you know, it seems
DP?
like Terra has
DP.
not adjusted, and neither has the entirety of 100 Thieves. They still have a good chance here to hold, though, as they have ultimates, and Gen.G still have to reclaim the point.
Okay, out comes the living.
They TP'd out? Wait, that actually is so
So
cool.
has to leave away and lose a huge amount of uptime on that ultimate. What a fantastic
Wow.
from Gen.G.
They
Yeah, I like
TP'd
it.
out.
More
That was
points given
so
to the objective on the side of 100
simple,
Thieves.
but
Meanwhile,
elegant.
Kadia coming to delay the point in the 1v1 with SGP. Who's with SGP? Is nobody there?
with the copied Fate of Both Worlds, finally the pill's going to come on.
No
through from Terra.
way.
He uses for solo assemble to try and take down SJP. Freezes them with a reflected absolute zero. Kadia returns
No
to
way.
their team right now. And guess what? Now Eggsy can come in with an unanswerable ultimate.
They have
SJP
nothing.
is
They have
still
nothing. They have nothing. They have nothing. They're gonna die.
Vinny wants to pop it right now. All in under the regeneration. The main damage too much for Harvey to bear. Clobbering time. All the eating of the tainted voltage. There is absolutely everything. Brownie's starting to get kill after kill. The eliminations are piling up when they are needed the most. And it feels like Gen.G have finally hit their stride. But 100 Thieves are doing their best to try and make this one work. Terrible trades out for one. Snake being
I think
down. Tori is
this
gonna be
map
the healing
or this first
remaining
point
right
might
now.
go
It's actually falling off the back of the map.
Gen.G.
Sentinels are unavailable for a moment. Has to
Maybe.
bounce
Hold
them
on.
back using
Hold
the
on.
pad.
Booyah.
TTK is going to do their best to try and make this one work by
Nope.
themselves. Still there's harassment
Booyah.
happening in the back right now.
Oh, that's a
Clobbering
big
time, and
booyah.
it's four players
Oh
stunned.
my
TTK is
God.
going mental on this hero. And Eggsy
Wow.
flying too close to a
Damn.
too close to a fist. It might be
What a
dark
turnaround.
neutron star, but it still hits
Oh
the
my
force.
God.
The cosmic being,
TTK hitting a banger all.
Thieves and Gen.G, yet another domination. Cradle, you know, reverse sweep there for 100 Thieves, and that was insane towards the point where Kadia jumping towards the objective, having to use his ultimate, had to deal with the Luna Snow, who has that team up with Iron Fist, can just boop away any extra damage. And, you know, that was just some great support play. We almost saw them choke it, though, right? Delena.
Shroud, I beg.
barely
Wait,
out
what?
Of the Luna Snow ultimate, and you get
Shroud, I beg you to tell us stream what time or length this is going to, or the whole tournament finish. I mean, you don't really know how long it's going to take, right? There's still. How many matches have we played? We've played what? Have we played six? Have we played 6 matches? Has there been 6 series? There's a total of 14 series, so I don't know if we played 6 series or we played 8. I kind of forgot.
This is so close thus far. It feels
It's gonna go for at least 4 more hours, like minimum 4 more hours for sure. For sure. I think we've only played 6 series and there's a total of 14. So we're just once these matches end, we're gonna be past that halfway mark.
The point just kind of have to play around their front line, right? Make sure TTK is healthy.
This is the 8th. This is the
constantly
8th matchup, I think, right? 7th, 8th matchup.
Kadia doing the same thing almost, right? Kind of to draw aggro, looking for his moment, looks to peel off. Benny gets grabbed by Delena, shoved back away, but with that Luna Snowflake.
Damn,
healthy.
nice shots.
And then
Oh my
God, Brownie
God.
from the top just takes down Harvey.
I mean, that damage boosting aura just hitting those breakpoints again and again. Omega Hurricane already forces out a response here in the form of that Fate of Both Worlds. Of course, trying to burn a huge amount of the overall duration of it by holding in midair for a moment.
Good old-fashioned storm.
Ultimate to come on through. Tori thinks that this one is enough.
Booyah didn't do much.
And of course, 2 players getting started.
Wait, 100 Thieves took the point? Oh, that's so bad for Gen.G. They snuck the point.
They've got to stay within the territory that's marked out by their cloak.
Oh my
dagger.
God.
But the cleave is just so
Oh my
difficult to do it.
God.
The golden kick does even more damage when you're low on HP, and you better believe that everyone is when Terrible is coming after them.
Just beating their
It's
ass.
here, and I'm afraid that it's going to be quite the bit of difficulty as Kadia goes in towards the back. 100 Thieves have been in control all this time.
Yeah, all of the ultimates utilized from Gen.G
Damn.
to no avail. I mean, 100 Thieves played it
That
so
sucks.
perfect.
Gen.G lost the cap.
Constantly making
Oh,
sure Gen.G
tough,
has
tough,
to use
tough,
the
tough.
ultimate on the back foot, right? First of all, starting it off with the clobbering time from TTK, kind of opened it up, slowed down that push from the Luna Snow dance floor, which you need to find value out of just by, you know, diving towards that back line, making sure Harvey's in a tough spot. Well played in incredible positioning from 100.
Is the other match happening?
Have the ultimate advantage.
What's happening
in the
here on the other
fight, or
stream?
At least ultimates the deal with Gen.G.
Wait, did the other
without
stream
strategy
finish their series?
to kind of peel it off.
And I missed it? I've just been so locked. I've been tunnel vision on 100 Thieves versus Gen.G that I don't even know if the other one finished their series. Where did FlyQuest Envy go?
In comes the Omega Hurricane from the Storm. Moving over on the other side, Delana finds Brownie when they're at their most vulnerable. And all of 100 Thieves is
I think only first map's done. Yeah, I don't know what happened. I don't know if they're having some troubles. Some tech issues or something? I don't know.
The Tories returning the meter. I'm going so high. I don't know where Chopper's throwing that one. Oh, bruv. It's looking terrible.
Bruv.
For Gen.G, 100 Thieves.
Throw in the bruv.
Yeah, they're looking real good. I mean, Iron Fist.
100 Thieves looking like they're going to take another 2-0 here.
The other maps, he was not playing too well. Now coming
tough. They didn't save the cap. Oh, that's tough. That's tough. That's tough.
They're just falling apart at the seams right now. Gen.G on the previous rounds looked good. Coming back in with even more ultimates. They have not found a single
Jesus Christ.
That means just going to get pumped by Terra as you run away from the point.
Living She just a
Jesus Christ.
Iron Fist forges a Ferris victory here for 100 Thieves.
Gen.G goes lowers.
Not to the lower bracket in near record time. Dominated on 2 dominations.
I think this team is what Hank said earlier. It's kind of, they're on another level right now. 100 Thieves are, right, doing well in tournaments outside of Shroud's Gauntlet, but in this one, constant pressure on Gen.G. The Korean team who thought it.
SJP has been playing very well.
We're doing our part to get back on schedule. Yeah. With the help of 100 Thieves and Gen.G.
That's true. 100 Thieves, thank you. Listen, 100 Thieves, thank you. Big dubs for keeping us on schedule. Listen, we fell behind schedule a little bit. Thank you for just dominating. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you guys dominate all the time. I know it's just like in your blood and shit, but like, thank you. That was yeah, that was kind of a stomp. The first map was pretty close, though, I think. I don't know. I think it was just the little things there, right? Just the little things. Like, they took the first cap. 100 Thieves took the first cap with no actual resistance. Like, they were on cap and they slightly, like, walked off and they just took it in a fight. That's always really bad when that happens. Thank you, Shroud, for hosting. We really appreciate you. Aw, what the heck? That's so sweet. Thank you. So is Gen.G just playing with insane ping? Gen.G's probably playing with like 150 ping. Yeah, probably. I would assume. Yeah, I don't know if you guys remember, but like 2 or 3 months ago when the season came out, when was that? When did the season come out? It was like 2 months ago or something, right? Or 45 days. I was telling my stream that I really wanted to do a format like this and ask netties to see if they'd be willing to, you know, I guess fund it, budget it, or whatever. And if they were okay with the format even being a thing. And they were both open to me doing the thing and the format, the style, and also they gave us a budget to hire people to make it a good show. So that's freaking awesome. So thank you to them for allowing us to do this in the first place, because without them, this tournament would not exist. But big thank you to the production team and all the casters and stuff. They are absolutely carrying the show. Even though we fell a little bit behind schedule, they're still going to carry the show. And then the last one is obviously to everyone. Almost every single person we asked and team like was so down to play. Like without Envy, without FlyQuest, without freaking Sen, without Shroud X, without 100 Thieves, without Shikigami and LG and Gen.G, without all these teams, I mean, we wouldn't even have a tournament, right? My whole goal was to have this style of draft picks with the really, really good teams. Because, like, if we did this style draft with content creators, like, it would be kind of, it'd go kind of crazy, I think. So it's really, really cool because we're seeing, like, unorthodox characters, but still played at a super high and competitive level, which is really, really fun. Here's the bracket so far. 100 Thieves is 1 match off from being in the finals. FlyQuest is up 1-0 against Envy. Whoever wins that's going to play against 100 Thieves. Gen.G just got knocked to lowers against Sentinels. We'll see how that match goes. Gen.G's been looking pretty good. Sentinels has also been looking pretty good, even though they did lose to Envy. You know, even though. Nice seeing the fight night guys in other tournaments. Yeah, no, I was super thankful that their team wanted to do this thing. You know, the first people that we thought of when I went to NetEase and I asked to do this tournament, and then they let us, you know, hire whoever we wanted for the show. The first people I thought of was Fight Night. I instantly went to that group of people and I was like, "Hey, can we make this thing happen?" And they were all over it, and they said yes immediately. So that's amazing. That is amazing.
Of Marvel Rivals, which, by the way, if you're Envy, you have nothing but a ground game here. Ban Groot.
Where's your team?
Ban Groot now. Don't let Groot get through.
They lost.
You got an opportunity to choose your own destiny, and within that, you should be banning Groot. That's all I got.
Because they can't use it, Envy. So
No.
you might as well make sure your opponent can't use it. And then you limit their options because they're in a bit of a, I wouldn't say a similar necessarily situation, but you do have some limitations on what FlyQuest can look to opt into here if they end up banning the group.
Yeah, I
There's
think,
some
I
thing.
mean, it's...
Is that a cat?
Thing is possible, but
Oh my
it's definitely
God.
fallen out of the meta a bit, especially with the nerfs that happened to his Battle
Oh.
Leap. So I think if Envy bans Groot,
I wanna
that's one
bet
of the
it.
better situations to be in, because you really don't want it to be a situation where you have no flyers, and which is one of the better things to like kind of play into the group, because Groot isn't super effective into playing to that in general, just because, yeah, you have walls, but it's kind of hard to like take the duels with them. You're not getting bubbles necessarily. So I think
I'm gonna use the
Envy
restroom
should
really quick.
probably
I gotta
go for
pee.
that Groot ban. It's probably
One
one of the
sec.
better options.
One
for
sec,
them,
one sec,
but
one sec.
Who knows, you know?
One
And
sec.
I thought too, it could just be flat out aggression. Maybe a Hulk gets locked in here. Wolverine still. I mean, well, the Magneto's out, so probably not the best choice there. But that could also be.
To be fair, if you're confident in the Wolverine, you could play it with the Magneto. I mean, typically that's what we often see is Wolverine's played with Magneto on both squads, anyways. You know, so it could still happen if they're feeling confident in that. I mean, to me, it's just like there's no flyers, so it's gonna be like a much more static type of game. There's no Captain America either, so I'm imagining Winter Soldier makes his appearance here. I think this is where Winter Soldier will likely make his appearance. Like 10,000%, Winter Soldier, Hela, those are picks, especially for Envy, because Envy, I mean, Cal is one of the deadliest Helas like in the game currently. So I feel like Hela would be a very obvious pick potentially for Envy here.
Feel like it could be an option. There, you have.
Why do they call it lower bracket and not loser bracket? I don't know. It sounds more polite, man. Is there something wrong with sounding polite, bro?
That you've removed
What do you
all of
mean?
these flyers. So ZP, you're right. Grounded game. It's going to be good, honest.
We live in the day and age where sounding polite is bad.
Okay, everyone's going to have to keep those 2 feet on the ground unless they.
Chivalry is dead.
My guy's flying all over the place.
Also,
but I don't think that's happening.
while we're waiting for this draft to pick up steam and get us into game, it's worth knowing that we got an update from the other side of the bracket. 100 Thieves has defeated Gen.G 2-0.
Whoa.
I understand it was a little bit back and forth, but Gen.G now being sent to the lower bracket is where we are at. And there we go. Yeah, production's listening. We got an eye of this. So 100 Thieves is in the upper bracket finals, awaiting whoever wins this matchup versus FlyQuest versus Envy. Meanwhile, Sentinels, I mean, my word, that is a tough road for Sentinels. They had to go against a blender in Envy and now up against Gen.G in a lower bracket elimination match. Things getting spicy here as the day goes on.
The quality of team is always going to be tough. You know, to quote the great Ric Flair, in order to be the man, you got to beat the man. Okay? So
Who is
no
Ric
matter what,
Flair?
the Sentinels
Wait, what?
going to have to run through the
Who is
gauntlet
that?
no matter what, right, in that situation. So
I thought he was going to say Ric
they're
Flag
gonna be
for some reason.
Heading into a very fun battle against Gen.G. Meanwhile, Shikigami waiting for the
A
loser of this one,
WWE wrestler.
whether it's FlyQuest
You
or
expect
Envy. If you're just joining
me,
us there, you can see at the top of the screen there, the
a
match for
gamer
following is FlyQuest
from
versus
Canada,
Envy, and
to know what WWE is, bro? Come on.
A very dominating conclusion in that domination game at Heaven's Hell when it or Hell's Heaven, excuse me, the Hydra base, where
He's Canadian.
It was just,
He's Canadian? Is he actually?
We're still waiting for the Envy ban to come through. And if you're wondering,
They're going in the book.
Why
No,
is
they're going in the
it
book.
taking
Okay.
so long? Look, Guys, we're gonna keep it $150 with you guys, okay? This is new. Let's give the players some space, some grace to be able to make some decisions.
Yes.
Because honestly, if I was in a similar situation, I wouldn't know what the hell I'm
True.
supposed to pick here.
True.
Because there's so many things that you got to take into consideration. And not that one. I didn't take Venom being banned into consideration.
I figured it out.
That makes sense. Spark Chief, right? Spark Chief plays Venom.
The new penalty, we'll set a timer, and if teams don't pick by a certain amount of time, Golden Boy will pick the hero he thinks best suited or ban.
Golden Boy pick.
That's where it goes down here. And the reality, it may be an upgrade.
Get ready to play Penny, everyone. Get ready to play Penny.
Like, yeah, I'm locking in the Penny. But
you better lock in 4 now, or else I'm sending you to the gulag. No, there's what the hell, the Venom pick? Did FlyQuest run Venom in the last one? I think they did, right?
Spark Chief.
Yes,
am I tripping?
Yeah. No, they 100% did. They ran Spark on the Venom, and it also fits with FlyQuest's MO, which is the be in your face.
Ric Flair and Shroud look alike. So true. I've been told I look like wrestlers in my high school. They would tell me all the time, "You look like you can wrestle."
Disappointed that you're gonna reference Ric Flair and not drop a woo. Like, what's going on here, man? Like,
sorry about that. I didn't want to piss off Shroud's audience. They may not. And on the VCT show, everyone has to deal with my wrestling references all the time. So I didn't want to do that here. But I mean, you're just gonna have to deal with it.
I don't know what the crossover is. Honestly, I'm not quite sure if there's a crossover between WWE and Marvel Rivals, but it is possible. I mean, in a way, both are kind of. They're both superheroes. They're both they both have hero costumes and personas and such. So
I could be wrong, but I believe, and I gotta see, there was a Marvel WWE crossover comic years ago. Unless it might not have been Marvel. Never mind. Actually, it might not have been. Oh, dude, I thought that there was, because I know it's like a thing that people like to see. Like, we've seen like Transformers crossover into comics and stuff like that. Ninja Turtles.
Why are we talking about wrestling, bro? Wrestling, leave that shit in the fucking 80s, bro. Nobody cares about wrestling. It's gone.
That's a correlation.
I'm gonna believe it. I'll believe it.
Gone.
Psylocke gets picked here for FlyQuest. We got some progress now. I gotta say the Psylocke choice, yeah. I mean, you are going to have a lot of access to that back line. You can do a lot of damage with the Psylocke.
It's real to me.
Solid pick here from FlyQuest. Kind of, I do think ZP, like, no matter what, FlyQuest still going to get the aggression that they want.
I actually don't. On the real, I actually don't know anything about wrestling besides like the way I view wrestling is like, I think wrestling is like, it's like the content creation of like physical, like a fighting sport. It's like a content creator fighting sport. You know what I'm saying? Like, I imagine they're all a bunch of content creators and they're there to put on a glorious show for their audience. I don't know. That's the way I see it.
You don't have Captain America available. What are you going to use? Well, maybe it's time for the thing.
Yeah.
I don't think things coming out here. I think things have been looking grim lately, you could say, and I don't think
they're taking so long. They're taking so long for this draft.
I don't think he's coming out.
Okay.
For context, the teams do get one. What?
Not making that. Oh, I mean, they took me out. No, they sent me to the pocket dimension.
Thank God.
Finally, these guys.
Penny Parker's universe.
They had a scene to get rid of a caster. That's crazy. That's W production right there. What? They had that ready?
No, I think there's gonna be group.
There is a timer, by the way. There's 1 minute per. So if you think about it, there is a timer. It's 1 minute per, but at the same time, that's a long time because you have a minute to decide your bans and a minute to decide your picks, but they're in separate blocks, right? So you're probably looking at like a minute per bans, a minute per 3 picks and 3 picks. So what is that? You're looking at maybe anywhere from like 3 to 5 minutes, maybe 3 to 5 minutes per team, I think. So they did limit it to a minute, but I just don't know how they segmented it. I don't know if they segmented it like 1 minute for all 3 picks, because you pick in threes, right? You go 1 ban, so you'd get a minute there to decide your first ban, and then I'm assuming you'd get a minute to do your 3 picks, and then you'd get another minute to do your second ban, and then another minute to do your 3 picks. And then both teams do that. So, 4 minutes each, total of 8 minutes. And then you obviously are a little generous sometimes because you don't want them to have a bad pick and then the whole tournament goes to shit and then they're not happy. So you'll give them a couple, maybe you'll give it a 2-minute grace period, 10 minutes per team, or 10 minutes total, sorry. It does take a while to do this draft. It does. It does. It really does.
So strong when partnered with Emma Frost because of the clones you get. But right now, it seems like that's by far the best composition. And Envy, it's going to be a bit of a challenge. With Wolverine, too, which we've talked about.
How long was this one? This was a...
This is a... It's going to be a bit of a challenge for Envy to try to play around the extremities of the map.
12
and
minutes.
I think get a lot of value here for their more.
Okay, so it took them 12 minutes. It took them 12 minutes to do this draft, which isn't terrible. It would be better if it was 10, right? That's like a 10-minute band pick draft would be good. That'd be a really good amount, I feel like. I feel like that'd be solid. But, you give the players a little bit of slack. This is a kind of complicated, quirky little style. You got to give them a little bit more time. We've already waited 10 minutes. What's 2 more? You know what I'm saying? Go walk around. And then, you missed the WWE discussion.
Let me see if I can find this out here. If production doesn't get to it first, I'll do my own investigation of where we're at. Like, thinking back
Your
to
own
the
investigative producing.
That's right. Thinking back all the way back to the beginning. Okay, I think it is Envy on the attack first, but I may be wrong.
Envy on the attack first, starting off with Wolverine.
Envy with the Hulk, Namor. Okay.
Get up in your business.
I love seeing Namor. Namor is like one of my favorite characters.
It
I feel like
work out, but
ever since they got rid of his squid, that slows. He's cool now. He wasn't cool before. He's cool now.
The Groot to chop things up, the Psylocke harassing the back line. You have a lot of things that are just going to be working here, whereas I feel like with Envy you got to make it work. Does that make sense? And I would maybe be the death knell for Envy here. What do you think?
I think ZP is ZP. What? How about you go?
No, I missed. I got to start. No, you take it. You take it. You got it.
Okay,
go for it.
He's already getting it. I think overall, I'm gonna say that it's gonna be hard, but the one saving grace.
These are getting longer than the actual maps.
For me,
yeah.
You get double bubble. You get an indestructible guard from the Hulk, and you get the bulwark from the Magneto.
The maps last anywhere from like 6 minutes till like, what's like the longest map on Marvel Rivals can go? 18 minutes maybe? Like I feel like they don't go that long.
A lot of attention as well, right? So because he's just so like crazy, he's like all up in your business. So you have to handle the Wolverine, and maybe the Namor can use that to his advantage, right? Not have to deal too much with stuff like getting picked off in the back line and things of that nature. Yeah, you're right. I like the double bubble.
I know it's in the competitive map pool, but Domination's so boring. Yeah.
Here from the inside, I'm sneaking into the match chat here, mostly to see if the players are about to get in lobby. But in reality, there's Spark for FlyQuest having an existential crisis as Envy is just laughing, saying that Groot is going to just continually get clawed by Wolverine. Kalu's dropped the draft 1 time to execute. And Spark is dropping tortured Star-Lord memes. Chris Pratt looking sad and confused. It was Spark's response. So we're about to get into the game, and Envy's feeling pretty good about things, and Spark, maybe not as much. Maybe playing into the meme a little bit, but they're feeling that the last pick Wolverine is pretty good versus the last pick Groot.
Here's the thing. Logan's a lumberjack working in the Canadian mountains, right? He's very used to chopping up all sorts of forests, wood things, trees, all that crap. So what's a sentient tree to a man with adamantium claws? That's the logic. It all checks out, guys. It all checks out. That's another comic book lore fact for you guys. Because fun fact. Logan's Canadian, okay? People don't know that, okay? I got you covered with useless Marvel Comics facts because I'm a nerd. There is I do think that the Wolverine's going to be fun to watch, and it will be the difference maker here. It could be make or break. And this is a big one because, of course, FlyQuest are up 1-0 in this series.
Yeah, that took 15 minutes. I don't know what happened from them being locked in. Oh, I guess you know what? I guess you have to do You have to do the draft. You have to do the draft, and you have to join the server. I guess.
It's going to be a crazy match because everyone's playing like insane right now. It's really cool. But Hall of Jalia, map 2. We'll be starting up in a second here, guys. But Avast, give me the prediction. Give the viewers a prediction. Who are you going for?
It's tough. It's tough. I think overall, I'm feeling more comfortable on the FlyQuest side, if I'm going to be completely real.
This
But
map
I
might
would love to
start.
see, like, a
This
map
map might start before this one goes, which is crazy actually.
Kind of being on the come up.
They were thinking long and hard about their draft.
Fans of Marvel Rivals and Rivals in general and Marvel, like, you know, you just want to soy pog a bit. You know, you want to see some of the advantages just kind of pop off. Or you want to see these teams pop off in general, and I think that these teams are going to put on a really exciting show, even if it ends up being a 2-0 here for FlyQuest. Hopefully, I'm hoping.
How can this draft be so much longer than Dota 2? Well, it's because it's not built for it, right? It's not built for it. The system is not built for it.
Green. All right, chat. Let us know who you think is going to pick up the dub. Go ahead and spam. Whether it's going to be FlyQuest or Envy. We want to see who you think.
Are we winning? Oh, us? No, we are not winning. But teams are winning. We're just not one of those teams.
We get that map 3, then we start to see where some of these things, you know, might fall apart because you only get those 2 heroes to be able to bring back. And you've spent a lot. You've invested a lot here. If you are FlyQuest, right? I would imagine.
Well, 5 characters you want to see in Rivals? Gambit, War Machine.
You don't have Emma, Frost. I think you just have a Strange left over, if I'm correct.
I want to see a speedster like Quicksilver.
So need to make a decision.
I think a speedster could be sick.
There's a lot riding on.
I want to see Ghost Rider for sure, because Ghost Rider is just a badass character. And then
I need the investigation as to. Okay, thank you. I was about to say, it's like, the draft has been done for a while. Players, get into lobby. If it was the standard NA bathroom break, let me tell you, like, we need the rule. We need rules that somehow, you know, stop people from using the bathroom. I don't know. I don't know where we're at here, but finally, we're in game.
Get a catheter, put it on the thing, just so you're good to go. Okay.
I don't know who the 5th character that I'd want to see would be, to be honest.
No, bedpan. But we don't have to go on the other things here.
Let's go to bedpan.
Nightcrawler would be cool. Imagine being able to literally teleport your teammates. That'd be badass. Like, not like Doctor Strange portal. Literally grab them and then that'd be sick.
Can hang on Wolverine, on Logan, and whether or not FlyQuest can wrap it up here, fellas. Take it away.
Sorry, that took 18 minutes. That took 18 minutes in between the matches. When in doubt, blame the players. Okay, always blame the players. As a previous player, it's always my fault.
But I don't think Spark necessarily loved Cal showing up here on Logan. So it pans out.
And also something to notice, I mean, Light is in for FlyQuest here to play some of this Psylocke here, so a little bit of some roster changes. Using other substitutes here for FlyQuest, which we've noted upon, is just keeping the pressure early here onto Cal, trying to remove Cal from the flanks, set up a potential dive, just make some more space here for FlyQuest.
FlyQuest right now, here on the attack, about 45 seconds burn, taking it a little bit on the slow side, waiting for opportunities, and for now, keep the group nice protected here from the Wolverine, but meanwhile, got a grab over and in from Cal.
Oh, he was so low.
After going for the snatch, and FlyQuest able to fully recover. So thus far, handling the Wolverine threat pretty darn well, as now progress on the point starts sticking up. 2 ticks now there, as an Envy needs to commit on over. Invisible boundary gonna be dropped. You'd think.
There's the re-engage then, but not quite, just waiting. They're holding off. Envy playing a really patient game along with FlyQuest. Everyone's just waiting patiently. Point Proteus going to be used, doesn't find anyone. But
interesting whale.
It found energy. It hit energy, and then he immediately died after the horn hit. Blink, and you miss it. Cow falling right after, though. Both teams down 1. FlyQuest doing a very admirable job of staying in here, but Envy now starting to push him on back. Flow battle more in Envy's favor as FlyQuest is in a full retreat. The tree finally gets chopped. And Envy, great hold here. 2 minutes and 20 seconds left remaining here for FlyQuest on the attack.
And interestingly enough, you know, so much value again from the Cloak and Dagger, where Cloak and Dagger
imagine they had this format
in the meta, where it's like,
hear me out. Imagine they had this format in the game, and you could buy items or upgrades like Overwatch. You know, Overwatch has like the upgrades you could buy. Imagine you had an economy, and then the matches were like 3 times as long. Nah, let's say 2 times as long. Just saying, could be cool. It just turns into a MOBA. It's literally a MOBA.
Just trying to set up here again, 5 volts.
It's just a MOBA.
Envy, they don't want them to do main.
Window moving on in, dropping the Hulk ult. Trying to make a little bit of room here for Envy. Window getting super low. Able to back on out, though. Get a little bit of healing. Not the classic Hulk ult, Hulk die that was seen quite a bit here for Envy. And also, they got the Cloak and Dagger ult ready to go. Eternal Bond at any moment.
That was close.
We'll see how FlyQuest goes. FlyQuest now moving on over.
These whales are,
definitely dodged. Energy,
you know.
In a little bit of danger right now for FlyQuest. Able to get away. Meanwhile, White, though, into the backline dance to the Butterfly. Backed up by the Meteor M. Envy getting fully wiped out. And that's going to get the convoy started.
Damn. All right, they got it.
And I liked the gambit a bit from maybe.
Did the wall block the whale? Yeah, I think that wall did.
Out something from FlyQuest just didn't work out. Lost the ult early, had to use a bunch of cooldowns, and then FlyQuest had to walk in for free.
We yearn for the deadlock.
Stupid.
Silly.
Just
literally make a MOBA.
Really right when it lands, and just denies all the splash damage. So very important there for FlyQuest.
A Marvel MOBA would go hard though.
Gets a walk in, drop the rolls, get a ton of value too from the copy for Coopertastic. They got a misship, and now Envy looking to hold second. Bank is still looking relatively decent here, but right now for FlyQuest, I feel like their comp's only going to get stronger as they get off first.
Well, also, now that we're in a more terrain balanced area, you got to look out for Strangling Prison in the Kraken Impact. They have it loaded.
Oh, yeah.
They can get even more momentum out of this here and now. So I'm looking at Spark Chief, where, yeah, Spark Chief has to avoid Wolverine. Wolverine's not going to go anywhere. Not going to be swapped, of course, with the front end. Oh, wow. Energy's down. So
wait, I've never seen someone actually die to the Cape of Terror. I mean, that was actually energy going down, like literally the final.
How do they know the names of all the abilities?
It was a terrifying Cape, and even more terrifying Kaluge off on the flank, able to find light. So Envy re-solidifying here on the defense, and FlyQuest in a hot retreat.
Trying to back out here fully from FlyQuest and making sure not to lose.
I guess because it's their job. Yeah, okay, man. Why you guys gotta be such party poopers, huh?
The old bank holding strong.
Jesus Christ.
Cal, though, getting hunted down the flank. They might be able to find Cal. No, Cal makes it. For the safety of the geometry, the safety of the health pack. And FlyQuest just looking to try to set up here because Envy doing a really good job of just not letting them take any angles.
Spark Chief is getting focus fire down, and then some nearly falls in the mud. Meanwhile, Kaluge, Meteor M, looking to a little bit of ball into the back, not going to get pick off front. Meanwhile, Strangling Prison finally let loose here by Spark Chief into the Kraken Impact from Energy, but doesn't appear to do too much. Envy still very healthy. The Eternal Bond kept everyone nice and healthy.
He missed his juggle.
Coming on in, Coopertastic.
He was trying to juggle him out of the ult.
FlyQuest, their main plan of battle here, Vast, is a little bit in shambles. Envy still able to maintain, dropping the invisible boundary as speedily. Now, you know, on the Namor.
Those are really good holds from Envy.
On the end.
And the chaos
really
here is
good
so
holds
important too, because the more chaos there is, the less contest there is for Speedily.
Not being able to swap characters right now. You just gotta grind it out, baby. You gotta grind it out. Oh.
And that's huge for energy.
Ooh. That's not good. Window with the overextend a little bit.
It doesn't get them the second point, but what it gets them trained. Like, you take a look at Envy. The S keys are being held down. That's it.
Yeah, it's very hard to contest this when you're not having those shields from the Hulk, you're not having some of the extra pressure. Speedily still sitting on the high ground. I mean, just the damage being done to Vest there.
That was ridiculous. I mean, Magneto nearly just bit it there. Unbelievable damage coming in from Speedily. Speedily, under a whole lot of pressure on the side, is going to get healed back up just in the nick of time. And, oh, by the way, here comes a little bit Wolverine. Cal saying, you think I was going for the Vanguards? Nah, Lion, I was going for you.
Good right click.
Up one here once more. Kaluge able to chase down Energy. And once more, take a look at FlyQuest. They're going to push back, but they're running out of time here, Vast. They only have 25 seconds left.
Yeah, and I definitely would have just struggled here a bit, but honestly, it's going so well here for Envy.
We didn't get a single whale kill, but that's okay.
Now to get this touch, 14 seconds here on the board. Both strategy results available for Envy, but nothing else. They have nothing else in the bank, but they're getting close to the last stand.
Oh my god!
They have it right now, and that's not what you want to see.
Yeah, what we saw there was Gamma burning down a tree.
Almost.
Gonna try to even the odds here for FlyQuest, and it results in nothing. Speedily's Namor has been a thing of beauty in this map here so far. Energy, drop the Kraken Impact. Doesn't seem like the best time to be able to drop it right now. Under pressure the whole way through as Envy continues to clean up. We are in overtime, and FlyQuest
got a full hold.
Running out of options. Which is probably why they threw in the Kraken Impact to begin with. But yeah, it's over.
They're not touching. They're not touching. A beautiful bubble from Vest, but like Envy made this work so well here on the second point. I thought like maybe it would even get a little bit weaker as we get off first, but it feels like it was the inverse. I mean, Speedily was just controlling that high ground the entire time. There's no flyers. There's no one to really get up there other than.
Is the other match happening?
A bit. And
Dude, the other match is
this
almost
just a
gonna
nasty
start.
amount of damage
What
from
is
Envy now from this
happening?
Envy and Kaluj, to be fair.
Our timeline, we're catching up.
Way more lethal.
We're catching up
than the norm in there. Well, more lethal with non-ultimate play, I should say. I mean, Meteor M's been doing work all day long, but you know, kills from Magneto in the neutral.
Let me see really quick. What were the maps? What were the picks? Magneto, Captain America, Luna, Mantis, Adam, Winter Soldier.
FlyQuest, they're going to be pretty much looking to ideally just.
So a kind of scuffed res comp from Gen.G, and then a real res comp from Sentinels.
Held that so effectively.
That's so weird. That is a weird pick by Gen.G.
I would say like a gigantic impact comparatively. Cal played the role in terms of just, I'm gonna draw attention away. I'm gonna just try to find some key picks, and I'm gonna let Speedily be the raid boss, you know, the alpha threat up on the high ground, someone to deal with, and that's kind of the advantage of having a Wolverine. It's a very.
You think Envy wins this? You think they take that first point, walk it the little bit they gotta go?
I mean, you really
or you think FlyQuest full holds?
You have a lot of like a really strong Vanguard frontline here. When you have the Magneto Groot, you have the ability to sustain, to peel some of those leaps that come out. You just can't be letting Speedily get so much value.
I think a lot of this kind of depends on
the
Envy.
Of
like, when you're running the sort of comp that FlyQuest has, yes, you have a lot of stuff that lets you kind of have a secure front line, but you're running a Psylocke, and a Psylocke only gains value if they're able to go off to that.
Holy shit!
I get stunned by Hulk like this, but this isn't the key part. The key part is after Envy is set up, what does Light do to make a difference? The Psylocke must go huge here.
The Envy going for this long rotation. Impunity plus Cal looking to set up here on the back line. They're gonna have the shields too if necessary. Forcing the region domain. I mean, there's so much pressure.
That was a cool little like rotate from both of them. That was sick.
Really huge. And
Window and Cal doing that rotate was badass.
Right then and there, you get rid of one of the strategists, and Cal continues to slice things up. Now looking for the group, looking to try and chop down the tree. The Magneto bubble though, really stymieing him, and Vest is able to keep Logan back.
Damn, they didn't make it. I thought they were gonna win that fight. That rotation was cool. They got a pick off of it, and I thought they were gonna win, but they lost the fight.
For FlyQuest, that's exactly what they're gonna do. And they're just saving the bubble, saving the region domain as long as they can. They're just making sure that Energy can try to just keep some of the poke continuously onto Cal. But, I mean, you see Envy playing that. Even though they get any cap time, I mean, it was a really good flank. I like the idea. They're having this double bubble play of Window committing with Cal, just drop the indestructible guard. But now they have to walk in through main here yet again.
Kevon Kaluj has had a better Magneto game than the average here so far. Now Envy, what they could use, a big Meteor M. Walking forward, more ults coming on deck. Kaluj being the front line and just trying to seize the opportunity. Meanwhile, Light goes to the back line. A little bit of slice and dice, trying to finish off Namor, and does. Just gets that last little bit. Kaluj tries to even things out with the Meteor M and gets nada in turn. Envy down one here so far. Energy though gonna end up falling. The Eternal Bond from Envy giving them a little bit more room. They're fully invested now. Invisible Boundary gonna be dropped. FlyQuest though down one. Gonna back out an Eternal Bond of their own. You gotta look towards Vest. Vest and Meteor M.
They have nothing, bro. Envy is nothing.
And they might not even need the Meteor M.
Window's ulting.
Look at here. Window gonna have to use the Hulk Smash, stay alive here in the moment. FlyQuest is very much in control of the fight now, Vest.
They might not take this point. They got one more fight. They have to build ults and have one more fight.
I mean, they're not gonna find anyone with that one. FlyQuest peeking aggressively through main. Maybe they're looking to find more. Has to use the bubble. Just try to find them alive, but the Horde of Proteus comes in. They're getting caught on main.
They overextended. They overextended, bro. They overextended. That's such a blunder. Oh no.
Off into play. That is ridiculous. You were in such a good spot, FlyQuest, and you just your greed has led you to absolute destruction. Envy, who was on the verge of getting first point held and getting sent to the low bracket, gets a new lease on life as a convoy comes alive.
Damn.
Now backs against the wall here for FlyQuest. I mean, just peeking a little aggressively post.
FlyQuest fucked up big time.
And that's one of the dangers of when you're chasing a Hulk Wolverine comp. They're gonna chase you back. It's just the reality of the matter. They're gonna go in deep as FlyQuest getting ready to hold. They want to fight here super aggressively. They know they don't have a lot of time for this point. Cal looking like they're trying to poke out Light here.
I mean, that would have been a ridiculous pick to get the Psylocke there, but doesn't happen. Meanwhile,
damn!
That's a little bit cracking impact.
What a guess!
Ooh, yeah, no strangling prison required. Energy just sees through the opportunity. Right place, right time. huge for FlyQuest. And trying to buy a little bit extra time, because remember, look at where the convoy needs to go. FlyQuest doesn't have much margin for error now anymore.
Oh, wow. Really good. Very, very good right hook there that comes out there for Kaluj, just making sure they can't effectively chase.
If games are staggered like this, we get to watch both streams. Yeah, like it low-key worked out, actually. Low-key, this game taking as long as it took to start, it worked out because now you'll be able to swap between the two. This is actually good.
And for Envy, it's now a question again of, okay, how can we set up just some of these insta-give combos, right? How can we set up, like, okay, a Horn of Proteus and a Meteor M potentially just to remove one?
Meteor M. Open up here from Kaluj. Down Cal needs to be big and big enough. Takes down Spark. Keeps the fight open here for Envy as a whale gets dropped on through. Well, though, not gonna result in any limb here just yet. Envy backing up a little bit. They still got the invisible boundary. Good, the drop. Window knocked out and window down. Invisible boundary not enough to save. Puny banner in the moment. And Vest looking for more.
What a shield!
Kaluj is super nice in the moment, and Vest is punished. Kaluj, a great save and a bigger punish with the aid of Speedily. Envy still keeping this moving forward. They don't have far to go. A minute 30 remains.
A minute 30 is a lot of time to get past this.
Well, so
they have big ults, dude. One Wolverine ult. This one Wolverine ult could change it.
Huge find now because they can walk back in. There's not a lot of damage. Do they have a bubble?
No way.
Use the zoom out.
He lives.
That's such a good save.
Oh my god.
Went for the Kraken impact. Envy right now. 1 minute left to go. Trying to keep up the momentum. They get Spark Chief. Spark Chief getting abducted by Cal. Kaluj on the fall through. Envy on the verge of forcing map 3. Here now is Cal.
Who is this guy?
Up and over. No one's on the convoy. Map 3 gonna be in the cards.
Cal's insane.
I mean, I worried a bit. I was like, well, this is gonna be a
really god
Vanguard line here for FlyQuest, but Envy.
We're going third map, dude. Cal's insane, bro. And now we get to watch this map.
Control, Super Gomez doing some cute little bee hopping stuff with the, jetpack propulsion that you get if you just, scroll wheel down. You get those little jumpy, like movement tanks that you could do on Star-Lord. But for Gen.G right now, these fights have not necessarily been going their way. They just get Brownie to find those opening eliminations, and then somehow Sentinels just regroup around Super Gomez through those reses, and that's why we talked about earlier. That's
a lot of ult charge. Crucial. Holy shit.
Just like, he gets so much value and then can just come back after dying.
Yep, second chance, very important. Using the Vibranium Shield here to block some of that incoming Stellar Barrage. Speaking of which, up at the top, it's going to be the Galactic Legend pouring in damage from Super Gomez once again. X's already been caught out. Oh, with 2 players down, they pot a fate of both worlds. Oh, you couldn't ask for a worse fight here for Gen.G. We're going to go for a quick resurrection. They've got to try and get value of their Lunar Snow ultimate. Guess what? It's already basically over. And now it's going to be Sentinels who are just going to have to deal with this incoming damage. Didn't go for a Loki clone at all, so resets are not going to be forthcoming. All of the Rotterstone bullets eaten up by the Meteor M. And Gen.G are running so low on steam with Logan able to easily pick out that Lunar copy.
Sentinels is in a good spot here. Wait, Krova died. That's not good.
To stop the incoming healing from that fate of both worlds, but Sentinels, they still have more than enough in the tank to try and make this one work.
I think you were on the money, Mr. Leg Day, earlier on when you said that.
All right, Sentinels. This is the lower brackets, by the way. So Sentinels,
like a random number generator, or throw a dice.
Taking the first point.
Yeah, it doesn't make much sense to play triple res, or
this one's going to the third map, which means you'll see. This one might take a while to start because they got to do the whole draft again. They got to do the whole draft process, but this time they have 2 protects. So hopefully they,
I don't know. It's weird because you would think, right? You would think that Korean teams would play more dive comps. It feels like Gen.G.
Yeah, Sentinels has 8. Sentinels has 8 players.
There's not much creativity.
Sentinels is swapping players every now and then.
Holy, Techie has been untouched thus far, by the way. Like 9k damage taken as a Magneto is nothing, and Kurova is dominating. Twice as much damage as Snake in the Adam versus Adam matchup. That is, that's an unreal stat line between 2 teams that should on paper be fairly close.
Yeah, I think these 2 teams should be close, like you said, and Gen.G right now, they got to figure something out, man. I mean, Choppa's not really having a good time so far. He was 0-2. Not to call anybody out necessarily, but, I think 0-2 is just a funny number. Funny kill death count. Because
2-11 previously from Choppa.
2-11. Yeah, he's definitely not he's not distant from the high death counts. But, he's trading space, right, Curly?
Yeah.
That's what it is. Damage blocks now. What is it? What's his damage block for 10? Tell me.
Well, the coach is going to need to know that one for sure. The Vibranium Energy Sword bounces between multiple members of Gen.G.
Gen.G played so spread out from one another. That was weird.
Frag, and it's still not going to be coming on forward. On the other side, the Galactic Legend takes to the skies. They've done a good amount of fire, but it's already over before it's even begun. And now heading into a back, Crimzo feels invincible while assembling some of this furniture and just throws out the shield again and again and again. Speaking of which, again, will ring out through your ears as Brownie yells the repetitions of the ultimate. Runs out of
Jesus
steam, however, no
Christ.
culling can be found towards this, just has to build towards the next one. Once in onto Korova, a quick teleport away over to the safe farms and elsewhere on the map. Amazing caught out as Rotterstern manages to strike pay dirt when it's most needed. This seems like a little bit of an ambitious ultimate.
Okay, they get all rezzed again.
Still, Gen.G are yet to cap.
Jesus.
Oh, that's a dunk and a half. Techie takes down Snake. They turned it around.
He's gonna res or try to res, and he damn.
Well, he was saving it for the res from Korova. I know a lot of pro players, they like to talk about how
Hitting that Magneto ult against the Adam was so huge because Adam, I don't even know why Adam was there. Adam was like playing in the middle of the point with res while his team is just getting dismantled. He kind of needed to play off to the side a little bit, but that's tough.
Ultimate to sustain after the
this is not looking good for Gen.G. This is not looking good.
You know, there's some sane thinking when it comes to the strategy right now. Is this is a very aggressive play.
Back cap.
Super Gomez. He's gonna go down for it actually.
Yet another Galactic Legend.
Dude, what's up with these overextends? Everybody's overextending like crazy.
In the backline here. Once again, it was Kaidir, of course, who was touching on.
It's like biting them in the ass.
Backline threat is being super annoying. Quick resurrection brings Super Gomez back into the midst of the fight. Snake doing their best to just deliver a huge amount of damage here, but also getting plenty of support from Crimzo, who's just stacking up that overheal.
Right now, Snake has actually looked pretty good. Here comes that meteor over the top of the portal. Doesn't matter because Brownie on the point already took down 2, so Sentinels now head back to the spawn.
Stories on the chase. Get back here. I ain't done with you.
Not over.
Oh, it's over for him. Gets taken down by the tainted voltage at range. 2 charges now. Recent change to Winter Soldier.
I feel like that was all because they overextended, honestly. They overextended slightly.
As well, who just love the vanilla mechanics.
God, this game needs roll queue.
Constantly playing around Brownie. I mean, just constantly trying to give him a
damage
boost.
The way most of these games play out, it's pretty much 2-2-2.
Right
to be honest.
You know, we talk about team ups and how useful they can be. This might be one of the more useless team ups, the Captain America with Winter Soldier team up, but he is using it regardless.
I think roll Q would be so bad. So bad. That would be like just killing the game. The game would just die.
To make sure anyone who falls comes on back in good time. A quick copy coming over from Logan. I believe that might have actually been onto a Soul
good touch.
Oh
my god, they almost lost it.
Option for Galactic Legend still available in the back of Super Gomez. Once it is timing it out would be critical here. Great shield flash from Chopper. Stops.
Wow, what a bub.
It's nothing off
what a bub.
The cracking impact though. Great metallic bulwark. Techie continues to impress and Super Gomez continues to dominate. When you want someone to be a hero, it's always for Gomez.
They said they would never do roll Q? I mean, it wouldn't work. They would have to change their whole... They would have to change their whole game. The logic of the game is without roll Q. If you add roll Q, you have to change the whole game.
Kraken impact resulting, like
it's not worth it. It's not worth the time, honestly.
The correct timing, on top of the fact that they just disengaged it, they could just use Super Gomez's ult after all of those Strategist ultimates were popped, and free fight win for Sentinels.
As it gets, just sending in those barrages here. Korova doesn't have to build up too far towards the ultimate on account of already having it. Gen.G grabbed themselves some high ground, and well, Kylie is continually this annoyance in the back, comes into melee range. Korova's under siege, has to use one of the clicks, summons Logan over for a little bit of backup. But with 2 strategists looking this way, this might allow Gen.G to actually gain a little bit of health here, and a little bit of space as well, as they roll on forward. Brownie's already fallen down. Vibranium Energy Sword cuts through arm and flesh alike. As Snake does their best to follow.
Does Gen.G win this fight?
Crimzo just making sure that the backline is never going to feel comfortable, assembling in the back.
Chopper!
Damn.
That was good. He dodged the shield.
At least softens up amazing. Hakai did smash to grab on the other side. Super Gomez once again.
Jesus Christ.
Got himself a Galactic Legend. He's farming him so fast. And he's farming up Gen.G as well.
Wow.
One's on the point. The Tory tried their best. But Sentinels grab it away.
Yeah, this might look similar to the series we saw earlier leg day with 100 Thieves versus Gen.G. They tried something out.
It's definitely similar. Yeah, Gen.G, I believe, is playing with like 150 ping or something.
But, you know, tournament life on the line. If they don't win the next map, it's all over.
This is lowers, so.
The map pick
So far, it's looking like in this draft.
By 100 Thieves not too long ago, and which is
in this draft style tournament, it's looking like Sentinels is looking pretty good in the lowers. It's looking like Envy, FlyQuest, 100 Thieves. Those are kind of the top dogs right now.
Things feeling like, I don't like to put like a mental state of mind onto things, but it could be like they're just not feeling it at this point of like, let's just go to control. That's what we play, kind of something like that. I don't think that's always necessarily
I'm
the case.
watching the wrong one.
Look, after these last 3 maps that they've played, where they just rocked by 100 Thieves and not all that close.
Where's VP in all this? They couldn't make it.
Like, you just kind of have to wonder about morale with the time zone, with the ping, like how that all weighs on
VP,
them.
VP could not make it.
And they pick Storm. I'm going to say that I was right and that they're just kind of checking out. And
Sentinels heard the tournament was running over time and decided to lock in to save as much possible time.
Yeah, it has been pretty bad. And it's so interesting because I feel like the play style of Gen.G is so uncharacteristic for Korean teams. It just feels like they're pumping all of the resources into one duelist, right? We have the Bucky, we had the Heller earlier. I don't know, that doesn't seem very like stylistic of the region to me. And that's maybe because I haven't seen enough Korean games. Or
Why is no one doing Rocket Punisher? I have no idea.
It does feel like
I thought they would. I thought with this format you'd see it a little bit more. I don't know. I'm surprised.
I don't know. Right now it's just not panning out. So we'll see if they can change it up.
That's an interesting way to put it, and I think you're absolutely correct on it too. And it's just when you have players that have carry potential, are you investing too much in them? Is it just really kind of understanding how these other teams play? Look, I don't think they have a ton of practice in scrim against a lot of these teams. They might not be used to this style. They might be getting curveballed now. So I think Gen.G, we're like making excuses for them because we know the talent of this region, of this team, of this coaching staff, of the organization.
Did Gen.G beat 100 Thieves? No.
So, for a debut, did pretty well, but these last couple of maps have not looked ideal.
Yep, that's the bracket right there on Wikipedia, if you're curious.
We have seen time and time again.
The bracket is down there.
If they are going to win the next map against Sentinels, they will do it because
Aces Hella dominates.
We really need this.
Optimistic hope that I've got right
we
now.
really.
I mean, honestly, if Sentinels first ban Hella, it might be curtains.
We really need this envious FlyQuest game. We really need this third map to play out.
I feel like going to a British
desperately here
is not ideal.
Because Shikigami is patiently waiting in the lowers right now. Shikigami is patiently waiting in the lowers, and they're waiting on this match. So we're getting. It's good that we're getting 2 different times, where 2 games are happening at different times. That's good. We got a little offbeat, but now one team is waiting a lot longer because this match, Sentinels versus Gen.G, might finish even before this match finishes. And we need this match. This is envious for FlyQuest. We need this match to finish so that Shikigami plays theirs to inevitably play the winner of this match. Here's the bracket right here. So Shikigami is down here kind of waiting. Shikigami is waiting for the FlyQuest Envy. It's 1-1 right now. And obviously 100 Thieves needs 100 Thieves is waiting too, right? They're waiting for this match to end so they see who they play. Shikigami's waiting to see who they play here. And Sentinels Gen.G might wrap it up and go right here before all of the others end. So we shall see. We shall see how these games go. I think they're definitely almost done the draft by now, right? Because they're not... I think what's interesting is if you show... It's interesting how the brain works, right? Like if you are waiting and you're looking at the screen and you're waiting for it to start, it's going to feel like it's taking an eternity. But if you're watching another match, like we just watched this match play out, so because we just watched that match play out, while that match was playing, they are doing the picks and bans. So it'll feel like we're not waiting as long once it goes live, which it probably should be going live here soon. Let me take a look at the Discord. Let's see. Yeah, their draft is almost done. I'm looking at Envy's. I'm looking at all this stuff. Their draft is almost done. I wonder if Shikigami has an advantage being able to watch more. I don't know. With this tournament style, I'm going to be honest, with this tournament format and style, I don't know if you really have an advantage being able to watch more. You know?
Banging Nosh? Oh, well, Nosh is like Scran, which is just good
Just made up words all the way down.
I mean, honestly, you guys broke off too soon to get all the good words that we came up with. Like, oh, we're really in our renaissance of making up words now here in Britain.
It's okay. I don't understand most things that people 20 years younger than me are.
What was the setup cost for this tourney? Doesn't really matter. Doesn't really matter to say it. I mean,
because we keep things moving here on the B stream. Gen.G first pick is going to ban out Wolverine of all things. Yeah. Interesting. Leg day, what do you think?
I'm not one thing when it comes to like talking about how much does this cost or how much does that cost. When it involves other people and other companies, I am not in the place to say that, right? We obviously talked to this team to produce and cast and all of that, and we made the deal and we did the thing. It's not my place to just be like, oh yeah, it was this much. Bro, it involves so many more people than me. I'm totally fine talking about just myself and what I spend stuff on if it's just me, but I'm not the kind of person to just be like, yeah, it's this. It's not my place to say. It involves more than just me, right? It involves more people. I'm obviously not going to share that.
And choosing their battles, and Sentinels choosing this time to get rid of the Invisible Woman in case Human Torch is on the field.
Okay, Invisible Woman is banned out for Sentinels. Just to give you guys the full info here, the map pick, which came from Gen.G, is going to be Domination, and it is...
This draft is going to take a little bit of time.
They're going to take us...
The Envy draft, I think, is almost done.
It means that was the best I've ever heard it pronounced. I know that's that.
Yes, as you can see... Yeah, no, I'm a big Wakanda fan here.
Yeah, I did slightly predict that they would probably go to Control. I mean, it's just a map that I feel like requires a little less coordination. I mean, like if you're just going to try to win on mechanical skill, I've always felt like Domination. I called it Control. I'm sorry. I don't know why every game has to make up its own name for things, but here we are.
You mean Hardpoint, or you mean?
How much did you alone spend? No, this is covered by Marvel Rivals.
King of the Hill, because I'm a TF2 nut.
Marvel Rivals. I reached out to them to do this tournament, and then they gave me a budget, and then I found whatever I needed to do for the budget.
It's a map type.
So I did not spend any of my money.
You just outskill somebody on, right? You just expect
big Marvel Rivals ups.
1v1s, and you can force 1v1s a lot easier. So that said, we're still now waiting for the first picks. We'll see if any pro player picks come in. Is there any hero in particular that like maybe lends itself to this map or these map types? I mean, Groot has been good on Dominations a lot, but I don't know if necessarily this
Project Manager Shroud. Yeah, not exactly.
I don't mind the Hela. I think that character could do well on.
I wonder if NetEase will ever host international lands. Probably. I don't see why not.
Going to something alongside, I think Psylocke is.
There's a lot they could do with this game.
It depends on the map itself.
Just a matter of doing it.
This map is so interesting, I think, because Burn the T'Challa has so much variation in terms of like the map geometry, almost, right? Because when we go to the spaceport, there's like extended ranges, and then the point has like those four corners.
How's Marvel Rivals tracking in terms of esports? Was it doing better or worse than Overwatch at this stage of its life? That's a little different. That's hard to say, right? Because I don't know if you guys recall, but when Overwatch came out, it was in 2016, so 9 years ago, and it also is like one of the few games that are multiplayer that won Game of the Year. So you already have a pretty big head start. But Marvel Rivals has a very impressive start too, right? They had Marvel Rivals, I think, hit 40 million players within 2 weeks of launch, which is insane to have 40 million people play your game within a couple weeks. I think Overwatch leaned into the esports thing a little harder. I think Marvel Rivals is starting to. I think Rivals is now starting to lean into it a little bit more, which is good. I personally am a big Marvel Rivals fan when it comes to watching the tournaments and stuff. I enjoy watching the comp play. I think it's fun to watch.
They're likely going to have to play over Cloak and Dagger. They're probably going to play Cloak and Dagger with the Loki. I think 2 Eternal Bonds is better than 2 Cosmic Yarn Amplifiers, even with the recent buffs to it. Whereas Sentinels, they're going to be happy to pick up Emma Frost and Starlock early. They're likely going to pivot into something like a Lunar Snow, because that's still in the pool for them.
Why are the breaks between games so long? Because they're doing drafts.
I think what Sentinels are doing,
They're doing
here
drafts
is
in between, that's why.
they're threatening another pro gamer move. And they're telling Gen.G, you've got to pick Emma Frost, Psylocke, and then we're going to choose your support.
A draft, this draft takes about 10 minutes, probably.
Yeah, the more I see out of this style and this draft order.
What is really nice about the casters, I will say, what is really, really nice of the casters, I don't know if any of the casters will go back and watch this or anything, but it's really nice of all the people that are casting this show that they're, how much like screen time that they're willing to have, you know? Like that they're just down to sit here and just like talk and fill air. Because it's obviously way more interesting to sit here and listen to them than not.
Continue with the grand finals as well through the night. Hela is the pick. Interesting. So no Cloaky Loki just yet, which is what everyone calls that comp, not something stupid I just made up.
Loki.
Yeah, Loki Hela. The Hela pick, I mean, it's got to be just for Exy, right? Like they're going to rely on just click heads.
Yeah, we saw who was the team earlier that was it LG that banned out their Thor or banned out Thor 2? That I don't think they would do that. But
that was a wild draft. That one where there was already like Emma Frost and Magneto picked, and we're like, yeah, we're banning Venom. Like, okay, bro, whatever. We don't know. Psylocke's gonna get banned out here. Sentinels might do a pro gamer move and just say, hey, we want to take an unfair Psylocke duel. But that will, of course, leave him open to going up against it. Groot, I don't think Groot's a major problem for Psylocke to deal with. It's kind of free farm for Psylocke up against Groot to build up towards that dance of the butterflies. Or Sentinels.
Is Sentinels gonna ban Emma Frost?
If they are thinking that deeply about their draft, is they're telling Sentinels you
does
can
Gen.G play Emma?
Strategist choice, or you can try and take an Emma Frost versus no Emma Frost. Like pick your poison.
Oh, they could ban Torch.
We're gonna try
Torch would be. Oh, they should ban Torch. Well, Ryan Amazing plays Torch.
Okay.
What if they pick Torch, ban Torch?
Sides. Again, with the Fearless Draft, once you pick a player, you are locked
pick Torch,
in
ban Torch?
for that map. So, no switches, no swaps. That's been actually really fun to see. I mean, as casters, is it just easier to track a little bit? You know, no one's swapping and moving around. Although Rivals doesn't feel super swappy anyway. Just kind of getting your guys' feel on it. What do you think?
Yeah, the only weird thing is when like Loki gets a copy or something, and then it just like at first you're like, okay, who's the Luna Snow ulting right now? Like, is it the Loki or is it
they banned Invis? Yeah,
like, who is it? Right? That's like I think
Torch is still so strong though.
There's not like something super obvious besides when he screams with his voice line when he gets that copy off. But
I don't know what the hell they're gonna play.
I think that's about it. I mean, you know what? This is probably a Gen.G pivot to the thing angle to me. I don't know about you guys, but. I mean, we may not see it just because Captain America's already gone, right? Magneto's already gone for them. Same thing for the other side. And I think the thing actually somewhat counters.
Okay, well, we got double draft on both.
For them, so a Human Torch thing, etc. Like they do have some options there. In that
they Envy protected Torch and Invis.
Worked out, but FlyQuest definitely. We haven't seen them play. I think ZP.
They're both gonna play Torch.
Jeff the Land Shark in a long time since like an RFN from a while ago.
Come on, Sentinels.
Yeah, I mean, it obviously came out a little bit earlier today, but Jeff coming out probably with the Venom, as you said. I think you're absolutely right, by the way. It's like, if you're running Jeff, you need someone to heal. That's going to be the backline, and the person that's going to be the backline, if it's not going to be a Cap, it's going to be a Venom. But Envy, meanwhile, on the picks here, okay, they bring back Torch. Then they instantly pick Torch, which is a little bit interesting because, technically speaking, they could wait until the end to pick the Torch. So it'd get more heroes out before the mid-stage bans, but okay, they go for they're going for the Warlock, but they're going for the Warlock while the Mantis is banned by themselves.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, and Star-Lord, they didn't pick Star-Lord, so maybe they'll go 2-2 there to get Star-Lord with the benefit of the res. That would have to be.
Yeah.
I mean, I mean, obviously the res is
why
good,
did they pick Human Torch first when they protected it? It's odd.
Okay, so here's what I think is going on here, which is a little bit unique, is that they want to run a Warlock comp, but they don't want to turn into a triple strategist comp. So their way of doing this is that they ban Mantis from the beginning and then pick Adam Warlock, because if you don't ban Mantis and you pick Warlock, it might turn into a triple strategist mirror, which is not something that they necessarily wanted to do here. So This is actually a kind of a cool take from Envy that is showing
It's
up.
like they're kind of, I don't want to say nerfing themselves a little bit, but they're denying themselves something that they could use, because they know that if they don't, it's probably going to go that way. Captain America gets picked up here for Envy. Avast, this is shaping up to be an interesting draft here from Envy.
It's feeling, I mean, if I'm seeing Captain America, Warlock, Torch, and on the other side with FlyQuest of like a Jeff the Land Shark and protections on Human Torch as well.
Oh my God, they oh, they did. Oh, damn.
Final.
They picked Groot. They picked Groot and banned Groot. Yeah, the FU strategy.
They're not going to be able to play Groot, and they've banned the biggest counter to Groot. So what do, bro? It's I mean, it's not.
I mean, it took them like 2 minutes to think about that. But then again, yeah, no, it did actually kind of take them a long time to think about that.
Expecting here, and also I just feel bad for the Doctor Strange. My guy's just going to be dealing with a lot of pressure from on high. He's going to be getting chunked from the Warlock as well, just because the shield's going to be getting hit all over the place. It's going to be a lot of work here. I'm curious to see.
I don't want to go to work tomorrow because Shroud used the Gauntlet to erase my workplace. Bro, what?
Really, you don't have cap. You can't run cap.
Wait, you work on Sundays? Wait, what day is it? Is it Saturday? Sunday? Monday? I don't know what time it is.
So you really, guys, you got Fing, Penny Parker. I'm kidding.
It's not.
I'm confused. I'm confused why the teams are picking. I'm confused why the teams are picking their safe. So Human Torch, they protected it, so it can't be eliminated. It's good. They resurrected it. They brought it back. It's safe. Luna as well. I'm surprised that they're like picking it.
Interesting, because I mean we have seen some strange combos with
Weird.
like things like both I think and Venom, so it's not like out of the question necessarily.
Oh, they are playing Torch. I called it. I called that they were going to bring in the Torch. Even without Inviswoman. I thought, honestly, I genuinely thought they were going to pick Torch and then ban Torch, but they instead picked Groot and then banned Groot.
Vanguard now. Thing might not be ideal. I know you talked about it earlier against Psylocke, very much struggling against Groot in particular. Groot just gets one over on things so often. Maybe a Doctor Strange, but we've seen Chopper just get manhandled by...
I guess maybe because you've already shown your hand, so you don't want to be countered. Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe you pick the ones that you're safe, you're protected, because the enemy team already knows you're going to play it, so you don't show your hand. Or yeah, you're probably right. Actually, it's exactly what it is.
Yeah, kind of just or pocket exy angle.
Yeah, well, I mean, mostly just like Human Torch is going to be raining on you. You need something to mitigate it a little bit. I mean, you got Emma, but like, I don't know. You guys are the experts. I'm just thinking like they have really gone in on XC shoot stuff, and they've looked good. When
I don't know.
Succeeds,
I'll be honest. I think Gen.G is going to have a hard time no matter what they pick here.
Going to be going after them.
Sentinels roster right now looks mean.
Yeah, that's why I could see a strange.
Sentinels roster looks freaking mean.
Man.
I think
it's interesting when you're only left with very few choices. It's kind of you get down to this situation. It's like, what is the least bad choice? Like, there's not good choices anymore.
Yeah, I think you guys are right. I think like they pointed out, the Strange is probably going to come through. I mean, the Thing probably doesn't really do that well. It stings a lot because yeah, you picked your two duelists earlier in Psylocke and Hela, meaning you're not going to play Human Torch, who is unbelievably strong right now. The only counter is obviously the Hela, but a lot of people play around that. And
I don't know what
Hela's
Gen.G does.
Constantly pressured by
I have no idea what Gen.G does on this last pick. Adam, okay, so they're going something similar, I guess. There's something similar happening here. I want to know what the anticipation, honestly, the long draft is growing on me. The anticipation of waiting to see what they pick out of their options. What are they going to pick? What are they going to pick? Come on. Come on.
Not everyone's going to be happy with everything. And also, it's the internet and also it's planet Earth.
Well, I had a chess game before the game even starts because you can't swap characters. The only reason you can't swap characters is because we made the draft so important and so meaningful that if you fuck up your draft, you are fucked. That's why these drafts are taking so long, because they're so important. And if you fuck up your pick, you are absolutely screwed. And there's no, it's not like a MOBA where you're farming economy and you're getting better CS and you're getting better items and you're building counters around items. It's not a MOBA, right? So it's even more important to make sure you have the right characters than it is in a MOBA because you can't pivot. There's no pivoting. You're just locked in with this format. So our format is working as intended. The only caveat is we didn't know the draft would take this long. I don't think anyone expected the draft to take this long, but you know, it is what it is. We're almost done at this point. We're more than halfway done. So it's not that big a deal. We got maybe like what, 3 hours? We're chilling.
In Gen.G Marvel Rivals history. That's not saying much because they've just been around for this tournament.
I think Gen.G is fucked here. Loki, Hela, Psylocke, Emma Frost, Cloak and Dagger, and Doctor Strange against Human Torch, Cloak and Dagger, Luna, Groot, Psylocke, and Emma Frost. I think the Groot and Human Torch is going to be such a problem, and Gen.G will have literally no answer for it. The only thing is if Hela is the best player in the entire world and has a 75% accuracy, then maybe, just maybe, Gen.G will win. But that's my guess for how that's going to go down. This is almost done.
That makes the most sense to me in terms of where we're at.
This is map 3.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm also struggling. And then the NV pick here will have to be a Vanguard, right?
Which once again could be a Venom. It could be, like, because Venom is not exclusive for either of these squads, so I don't know what else. Or Thing. I think those are the only two options that make
Thing would be
sense.
fun.
Next time teams will know, and maybe it can be a bit shorter. I mean, next time there's things we can do. There's definitely things we can do to speed this up next time, like picking the maps beforehand. Why this becomes longer is because the maps aren't picked beforehand. So that's all right. We can just do, if we ever decide to do this again, we'll just pick all the maps for everybody. And then boom, it's instantly seamless, fast, and it moves. But that's if we do it again. Honestly, if the players, I definitely want to ask a lot of the players, or at least ask their coaches, or at least ask their manager, or whatever. I definitely want to get in contact with some of the players and teams to see how they enjoyed it. There's going to be a mixed bag of feelings. Some people are probably going to hate it, and some people are probably going to think it was kind of fun and different and quirky. But if the majority of teams enjoyed it, I can try to shoot my shot again at NetEase and see if we can run another one. This time with all the learnings that we had from this one. But we'll see. We'll see.
Be the main actor,
Even your best psychos are British.
No, they're outdoing us. Okay, let's see what. Let's go watch this series though between. Oh, you're right. Yeah, Nectar is in the series. Also, Aramori's back in. So is Logan. And guess who's out? Karova. So they are really testing a lot of stuff right now. Sentinels are.
Oh yeah, Karova's not playing this one.
Seeing what sticks. Chopper's already used that portal, of course. Used it to block off the potential approach to high ground that Sentinels could have used, and that's essentially a monopoly here for Exy to poke away. It does mean, however, there's going to be a little bit of an island that Fun has to step onto. Here is the Emma.
Yeah, Exy just kind of spamming over the top side of the map, and I don't know how I feel about teams that constantly shift out their roster. As you know, we've seen former teams, former professional teams kind of do this sort of thing, and it doesn't pan out necessarily unless you have a steady six who can make those flexible hero swaps, but only pick off those for Sentinel's favor. But it's
like that,
by Exy. Nice shot. Nectar caught out of position.
Good trade. However, resources have been expended here for a generation domain from the Loki. Used to try and rescue, I believe, a Doctor Strange, who was taken out of position by one of those Emma grabs. Speaking of Emmas, Techie wins out in the duel against their counterpart of Fun using that psionic beam. Chopper just does their best to move around this cover to try and keep this contested for a moment. Brownie pops out the duplicate, and that means that this backline is in danger.
Oh my God.
Quick double from Brownie. Absolute domination in the back. All of those strategists. Oh, you didn't have a strategy for this one, did you?
Brownie might be healthy. My goodness. 3 eliminations by himself. Brownie. Okay, this comp is interesting as well because you have to play so different on Psylocke, right? You're not playing with the Captain America that we saw earlier who can finish off, you know, some of your left for dead kills, right? In this case, you're all by yourself. You have to wait for your team to regroup, slow it down a little bit. And we can see Brownie took full advantage of his team sort of playing slow, and Sentinels couldn't react.
All right, Amazing does have a supernova ready to go. Good control of the point will be available. Of course, Dotori will be able to deal with that with the Eternal.
I think they're going to try to combo it with Groot. The Groot Amazing torch combo?
To grab a bunch of space.
Never mind.
Prison over towards the back. I assume that it was indeed the Loki who was caught within that. Snake punished.
Yeah, I could see what's going on.
And now the Dance of Butterflies has to be answered. It's Logan who's responsible for that one. Coming in with a supernova now. This has to be the coup de grace from Sentinels. They're almost towards the end of the bank that they bought into this one. And with Brownie falling down, that might well be the case. It's going to be a last gasp, though.
That character is fucking broken.
Having to go up against that Emma.
No.
Can't break through it before their own goddess of death is
like
broken.
What?
Chopper overwhelmed. And Sentinels will be able to flip this cap back.
Yeah, that Emma Frost shield could be absolutely so annoying, like you said, like they just in his face, barely, by the way, just like kind of
just leaning over it.
Yeah, and it still blocks all of your shots. Like that's so upsetting. And Sentinels on their defense now, sitting pretty, right? 60% of the board. Gen.G used a lot of ultimates. I don't really like how Brownie used his ult as soon as Logan committed.
He made 2 lines. I didn't know you could do that.
Longer, but
that's cool.
Right now, Gen.G having to walk back into an ultimate from Nectar.
Oh, very aggressive. Only Choppers inside, but regeneration domain is perfect there. Great answer coming through from Snake.
Oh.
Fun ended up isolated here. Nexus free to just dash away on the other side. Exy, though, finds the angle. Aramori already down, but it's a quick response.
He died so fast.
Amazing. Head on a swivel here as the Hela are approached. And Amazing just has themselves some free farm to work with. Techie demands the attention of the shield of a Doctor Strange as Amazing works on breaking it. Dotori needs help. It's not going to be coming through very quickly. Brownie, though, might be able to chain together some eliminations here as Gen.G are close to flipping this one back over in their favor.
Gen.G's looking pretty good here, actually.
Snake, who keeps himself alive throughout that fight.
Brownie is disgusting, and oddly enough, in that previous
Where's Gomez? Sentinels has an 8-man roster. They swap around.
Those crystals to dissipate. So right now, both Psylocks sort of playing a little bit too fast. If they slowed it down even slightly, I think they could really help the team out. But right now, Gen.G sitting on a huge ultimate bank. We'll see if they can take advantage.
Waiting patiently. Aramori once again opens it up. Fun tries to turn this one around. Chopper got to with the Eye of Agamotto, grabbed in their own right as Getsu was immune to that CC. Techie just turned into diamond form to make themselves unperturbed.
No
by that.
way.
Brownie grabs Aramori, and there's a strangling prisoner amidst all of this. The Crimson seems like they were grabbed by the opposing Emma to try and answer this one. A super It's already onto a dance floor though, trying to grab the Emma Frost, who's just cocooned herself away in a cave of safety. And yeah, they'll be sealed in there temporarily by
Jesus Christ, this is a shit show. No, he killed him before the support all got there.
Bond unable to save the Vanguard, but it might be the Sentinels that are unable to be saved on this map anyway. Next is going to try their best to dive on in. We'll be able to use that duplicate, of course, but I think they've been taken away. They might have hit the wall, and Gen.G, they're not.
That was a fucking brawl. Gen.G taking that first map. Nice. That was a brawl. Okay, this match is about to start. This is the 3rd map for Envy and FlyQuest. I don't know which one to watch. Ah, crap. Let's watch how the opening fight happens here.
Because I know at heart it's what you're thinking right now. Here's the thing.
So here's the thing.
I'm definitely thinking that.
You are 100%. He just got word from production. You were also fired. That was a good run.
You can't fire him. He makes the rules.